Welcome to WrAIth, presented by Block of Horror. Here on WrAIth, we're diving into the latest AI tools as we craft chilling horror stories, characters, and concepts. We invite you to learn, share, and collaborate live with us. Now, AI may seem like a terrifying monster to many. We get it. But we're here to tame that technological beast. Hello. Everybody, can you hear me this time around? Chris, how are you this evening?
Beautiful, sir. How are you doing?
Beautiful. I'm doing excellent. Just to let our audience in on today, what we have in store. We are focusing on the video side of AI, where we're going to take the two submissions we had from last time, our ghostly apparitions, and see what kind of character we can build out with some AI video. As always, be sure to share your own creations on X live with us or after, tagging below. And as we continue to develop this series, not only are we utilizing AI live with you, but we want to find ways to tell stories about the horrors of AI so that we can help raise awareness about the potential of this tech, but also its existential threats. So, with that, Chris, I want to ask you, what are the AI video tools that we are exploring tonight?
Well, anyone who's a fan is going to want me to say Sora, but unfortunately, we're not going to be featuring Sora tonight. Despite how many times people said there was access, I have yet to see it. But we're going to be using some of the best in the game. The four tools we'll be using tonight. My favorite is Stable Video. They have a new generator that's free, available via their website. It works very, very well. It's very interesting. We'll also be using Assistive Video, which is kind of an underground name in the game. I have been in their creator program for a little bit, and I really like the video they generate. There's no free tier as far as I know, but it's one of those things that it's kind of worth the price of admission. We'll be using Pika, which is close. It's number 2 at the very least. We get free credits I think it refreshes every day or every week. We'll be burning through some of those. I'll also be looking into the Discord, which is still free and pretty much unlimited. And so we can go through that because they use it for very different things, but same tool. And the pièce de résistance is we're going to be using Runway. So I have a grant through another company to use Runway. So we'll be using the pro model. So we'll be seeing how, if you were to, even in a team environment, how you would be able to use Runway in various ways to support your team, whether it be virtual or not, and lots of things you could do with it. So those are the 4 tools.
Awesome. Well, let's kick it into gear. I'm going to bring up the pictures that we chose from last week that were submitted through some AI art done by the community. Let's bring them up here. So it looks like we have some ghostly apparitions, some scary child with blood claws on her face, and some kind of floating nun in a white dress, or maybe someone who was recently married or long ago married that's hovering over the water, the lake, trying to, I don't know, seduce someone in the water. I don't know. So with this, Chris, I guess before we get right into the AI video, because part of this journey is creation, is collaboration, is inspiration, and empowerment for you, the audience, to dream and create with us, is what sticks out to you about this from a creative, inspirational feel from these kind of like, inspiring prompts, so to speak?
Yeah. I mean, it's, the reason why I like asking this type of question is because one of the great things about AI is it makes all the words you've stored in your life like useful. And you may have words from your profession that just make sense for what you do, but you'd never think that an image generator would actually take that and do something interesting with it. So there's I come from a construction background, And there's a lot of things that you would understand in architecture that you could say in certain ways with modifiers and stuff, and you can get some interesting stuff. Anybody who ever wants to try Gaudism with architecture, Gaudian architecture, stuff like that, it produces some really, really interesting stuff. But it's also like, how would you describe the luminescence of this? Like, would you say it's bioluminescent? Would you say it's core luminescence, haunting luminescence? Would you even use luminescence? There's a lot of things to like break when you want to break down an image, like how you look at it and how you describe it. It's it may sound ridiculous when you're saying it, but certain image generators will understand that really well. And certain ones will just, kind of help you get there. It's one of those things.
Yeah, and I like your take there. It kind of helps you check your own kind of, I guess, verbiage, like vocabulary, and kind of and concepts of better understanding lighting and style, and it forces you to have to learn while you're using these tools, because if you're not an art historian, you're like, okay, I need to understand how to explain that thing that I want, and then therefore you research and all that good stuff. So as far as
Mhm.
kicking off into video, what should we do as far as like a first go around? Should we?
So, first go around, I mean, here's what we're gonna do. I mean, let's just try that first image in all four of the generators.
Hmm,
Kind of just see what they each do. And then we'll see. We'll also see if we can build off that. I mean,
okay.
unless there's another, we could go the other direction, which is I've already kind of started it up, where we could ask the AI to describe the image,
Hmm,
just particularly this one on the left from me here, the ghostly nautical apparition.
hmm.
Like that one already came up and gave us a prompt that we could try and build off of really quick and
I
see what
love
we
that.
get out of it.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
mean, like,
Let's
we can try that. Yeah, no problem.
yeah,
I
let's
got
do
that
that. Let's
ready.
bring up let's bring up your screen.
Hell yeah.
Uh and then we'll show everyone that how that kind of reverse engineer prompt can be very insightful. Because it also, not only does it give you more ammo, it potentially allows us to um, kind of gain an insight into how a specific model processes, like how you should frame your copy or your prompt, whatever you want to call it. Um, so that's always something I find interesting when I reverse engineer, is to kind of see like, oh, that's how you process that. Like I was saying it this way and you want it that way. Oh, okay. Um, so that can be fun. All right, here, let me take this down. We'll put Chris up.
Yep. So, this is going to be a little in the weeds as far as tools, but this is this tool that I'm very comfortable using and trying to give you guys a good idea of what's
Hmm,
possible. It's not Mid-Journey, but we went over this tool very briefly last time. This is Automatic 1111 using Stable Diffusion. This has a lot of really, really powerful tools, but I'm also going to show you the alternative that you could just go to the website and do it with and not know anything about anything and take the prompt and do what you want with it. So I'm going to show you both of those right now. Okay. So this first one right here is basically Automatic 1111. So what you do is you would have, you come into this tool and have this kind of arrive at your interrogator section. You go to choose your image, you take the image that you want, you let it open. And then what you're able to do is there's a lot of parameters because you're really able to do some very interesting things with this tool. However, the default is great. It works fantastic. And then what you do, we're going to also just copy this just for the sake of argument. Control C. And then what you do is you basically just have it generate, the what it sees in this image and how it determines what's in this image. It'll give you a prompt to prompt the image. I also did this on a Hugging Face site that has a free version of this. Sorry for the white; it is not my control. I wish they had a dark background. I love Hugging Face to death, but good God. So this is a site. I could put it up in the Discord chat. Up here, you could see it's Hugging Face. Actually, I'll put it in the chat here. Why not? I mean, there's yeah. Oh, good lord. Yeah, I'll send it to you, my man, on the private chat. Because me setting up comments right now would be tough. But yeah, so basically, what this is it's a website, Hugging Face, which has all these models and stuff like that. But it also has a bunch of free tools. So one of the tools is this clip interrogator that I'm using on my local spot. But you can use it for free anytime you want. And the best thing is like you don't need to know about Stable Diffusion. You could take this prompt into whatever generator you want and do whatever you like with it. And then iterate off of it. See what you can get your way back to this image. So you just go, same difference. We'll start from scratch. Pick this. We'll pick the other image just because we'll have that in a minute. And let's try and do both to get us save some time. We're going to submit. And then you're just in a queue. Most of the time, you're first. So this is going to take about 40 seconds to do. Let's see what we got. This should almost be done. Yeah, flavor chain. So yeah, sorry, this is a little in the weeds, but this is one of the premier ways that AI artists work. And the idea of trying to understand the better tools is to be able to do things in a more unique way. Like this is the way that you can gain prompts and understand how to reverse prompt. And it makes you a really powerful artist because when you start playing with these ideas, it gets really, really powerful. And, and people sometimes just use the one very simple tool and just goes for it. And that's what they use, so it's pretty solid. I'm going to wait for this to finish. Perfect. Okay. So, okay. We can see what that is. So they're already saying Amy Adams. So we might have to change. Well, we don't have to change it, but we might have to change it. And then this one, let's see what it goes for. How much flavor does it have left? It's got a bit of flavor left. So, but yeah, so what you can do is you can take any one of these and you can go into Discord, where this is the Pika Discord, but let's go into the Block of Horror Discord. And let's use the Midjourney that's there. There we are. Boom. We're going to go live and in person. So we're going to do Imagine and then Control V. Let's do -- AR 16 9. Let's see if this even lets us go. Come on. Very good. Generation in progress. So, and that's the thing. You can take this and make it, whatever you want, make it yours. And then there's all sorts of ways of determining what you want to do with it. So let's see if this is done with this yet. Oof, this tool has taken a while. But that's what is so powerful about learning the interrogation part. Midjourney has another version of this called Describe. So what you do is you would do a /describe, and it does the exact same thing. It does it pretty fast too. If Midjourney decides to ever sponsor us, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Wink, wink.
we would definitely show off the describe function.
Oh, that's cool.
So it went hard for Amy Adams, but we could always make changes to do this a really better way. So let's Control V. Oh, actually, Control Z. So /imagine. Yeah, there we go. Control V. Let's take out Amy Adams.
Oh, so that's interesting. So the reverse engineer prompt directly used a celebrity. Is that something that you think is fair game? Is going to continue? Does it create more problems for companies like Midjourney where they won't even let you use someone's actual name in a prompt? That kind of stuff. What's your opinion? I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but
I mean, there's a lot of depth to this.
Yeah.
Number one, the whole thing is it really would take somebody looking for something to do something. So that's how I feel about it. What an interrogator is trying to do is get you as close to your image as possible. It's looking at it in not a way to regenerate it, but it is going to regenerate it if you want to regenerate it. So it's still down to the person prompting to make the choice of whether or not they use it.
Okay.
I just wanted to also see how far we could push it, because we literally just said Amy Adams, and it pretty much generated very close to Amy Adams. So
Especially
redheaded
that third one looks pretty dead on.
solid. That's a solid
Yeah.
Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I'll just read this. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take out. I don't know who John Wilson is, but we're gonna take that out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar
By
with John Wilson.
movie director. Inspired by George Manson. Inspired by insane. What would you consider Charles Manson?
Charles Manson, that's a good one. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, but what would you consider him? Would he be, oh God, it's hard to like explain the genre of maniac that he is.
Oh, I see. Just psychopath? You mean like just kind of, well,
because he's a control guy,
Yeah,
so it's one
maniacal,
of those things like maniacal. Yeah, that's pretty good. Insane.
Maniacal. More maniacal. Insane is kind of a compound. I feel like maniacal is a little more, because he was a mastermind, in a really messed up way.
Maniacal mastermind. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. That's a good one. And we'll leave the rest of that.
Narcissistic from Frames. Yep, that's a good one. Let's
see what this one does. And let's go back to trusty dusty stable.
And while we do this, just to kind of loop the audience in,
sure.
Today's goal is also to kind of build out this character as we discover what this person, thing, ghostly apparition is. So for now, if you guys have any names, any thoughts, any inspiration that comes, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you see something that you're like, ooh, a spin on Amy Adams in a bloodthirsty, raging, narcissistic role where she's coming for blood for her ex-husband, like, I don't even know, like whatever comes up, like feel free to share it. Again, it's the whole point of this too is also to feel collaborative and communal in this kind of exercise. So there's no bad idea. We're just here, kind of spitballing and seeing what we can come up with, and obviously with the AI models too.
So this one's going deep in some different directions, trying to get some stuff out of that. Let's go back to So, I mean, it did 3 different types of redheaded actresses, which is interesting. So and that's the thing. What you started with and what you end up with it's where, then you have to start looking at seeds. And that's when and then there's also IP adapters that allow you to keep faces and stuff. And there's even methods inside of Midjourney to try and retain faces. And you have to there's some really, really interesting tactics. It's one of those things that I think I'd have to have the pro version to really get into. But it's entirely possible. There's also, the factor of different models you use have a certain way of going about certain things. So like if we were to try in a different style and we would go for oil painting, it's going to have its very specific way of doing things.
For sure.
But yeah, so, this is like an iteration of that. It's one of those things that has some of the factors of the original. But there's definitely some newness there. But we're not really getting anything I like here. Just because, like, this is
that's pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's what I mean.
I know.
By demented writer.
Nuclear Cowboy, I like that. A narcissistic tech nerd who happens to have bodies in his collection of walk-in closets. Interesting.
Is that Nuclear Cowboy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that man.
That's good.
Inspired by demonic hordes. And then
Sarah. Karen, that's interesting. Karen thinks Sarah is creepy. I have a second cousin named Sarah. Makes sense.
I've had some very creepy Sarahs in my life. Let's see what we do this again.
Sarah. Yeah, I think it's the whisper. It's the S,
Yeah, that's always a very it's one of those things. You can
No.
just hear that in the night. It's not even your fucking name, and you're scared out of your mind.
Yeah. There was a great short, I think it was we aired at Blocktoberfest. Small plug, wink, wink, 2024. But I think there was the hovering over the bed monster witch and that creepy, like, all they have to do is go, like, whisper a little, "I'm gonna get you." Like, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, shit,"
But yeah, that's
shitting
why
your pants.
David Sandberg is one of my favorite directors because
Mm,
all of his shorts were fucking fantastic. I mean, it
mhm,
was like some of the best work I've ever seen in
mhm.
horror, and it was amazing.
Well, and
Um,
that's honestly, and Chris, like, again, this isn't to get off too far off in the weeds, but that's actually what I came to appreciate by doing Blocktoberfest last year is, holy shit, there is some amazing work in short form that deserve a platform. And, a lot of it, is already somewhat, released on YouTube and stuff, but like it's not really curated well, at least easily for people to see like some of this amazing work and great stories. And that's where I was like, oh wow, this is actually like it was an amazing 4 hour event just from all the great content that you normally don't find unless you're really digging for it on the on internet and YouTube.
oh yeah, no, for sure.
So,
So I'm gonna let this one generate, and we'll start seeing what we can do in
mm.
video. Just
Oh, that's
because
interesting.
one
That's
of the
interesting.
things, like, we could get a little darker than this and go a little
Mm,
deeper. We'll do that while we're running some video and just kind of showing people. Because what's good about this image, and I was kind of hoping would come through more than anything else, is the water. Um,
hmm
this is something that each of these generators are, so something I've found in running a team on Runway is that the Pro Tools are good, but there are things that it doesn't do perfect.
mm,
And then there are other tools that do something exceptional, but majority of everything else doesn't work out. And what I mean by that is there are elements in a video or elements in an image that these generators don't exactly work well with,
mm.
and each of them, it changes. So we're gonna start with stable. It just this is, I know exactly where this is. Let's see if we can copy it too, because that would just be so easy. Of course not. Why would they make that easy? Um, but yeah, so it's one of those things, like, there are certain generators, and the point of each one is that they do something very specific with like elements of fire or water or
Mm,
smoke really well. And then some have, even different type of like look to them that doesn't exactly like fit the same aesthetic as others. So what you end up doing is you would use a multitude of different like video generators to basically like bridge the gap between your images.
I see.
And the point of like that is like it just, you'll see. And this is like, so I could pretty much predict how Stable is going to do this. So we're starting with Stable Diffusion. This is a site, stablevideo.com/generate. They give you lots of they give you lots and lots of credits. I think it's 110, and each one is 10. Most of the time, like 2, 3 burns is all I go in and burns. When I say burns for this night, just understand it's how many times I have to hit generate.
Mm,
Now, this is where it gets interesting, because we're going to hit the generate and we're going to go to the next tool. Just because video is just about longer than all of those image generators that I just used.
mm,
So also, let's just go back here, see what happened. I mean,
mm.
these are, yeah, this one is interesting. This middle one. We're
Mm,
gonna do an upscale of 2. I'm voting for 2 because there's something
yeah.
about 2 that I like. And then let's see how that cookie crumbles. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. We're gonna take that, save that. Oh, no, no. Gotcha. Um, hold that. Hold that thought. Save that. We're going to put it in the block of horror situation. Okay, sorry. Since we just generated it, so bear with me.
All good.
We're going to see what each of these does without any motion to it. And I would say for anyone that's doing this, like you always want to start with no motion just to see what the generator itself does. Because sometimes you get really lucky. Sometimes it just picks up exactly what you need it to pick up. Most times it doesn't. So we're going to hit generate. It's processing. Let's let it prepare to generate. It's going to take, a little while. They want you to vote. I'm not voting. I vote all the time. Oh, what? Wait.
It
Oh,
likes you
no.
tonight.
Oh, I was about to say. No,
No,
that's
it's
going
just
to
giving
keep
you
doing that. Thank
false
you.
hope.
Thank you. I was like, I'm not special. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. And this is a assistive video. They're pretty much a simple interface. They're still kind of in beta, so there's not a lot of controls. There's some,
And this
here
is
and there.
open to the public though, the beta?
Yeah. Well, yes, you go to their Discord, you request beta access. Most of the time they allow. I requested when they first arrived on the scene, and I still use this tool to this day. I love this tool. And I love it because it is very wild. And like I said, it just takes it generates the video. This is just does it. It does take a while though. All these video generators, even you'll see as fast as Runway we have, it's not that fast. So that's assistive. It's very simple, but what you'll see it does is very interesting. Then next we're going to Pika. And we're going to.
Yeah, I got Pika beta approval, but I haven't used it yet. So I was waiting
nice.
for you to teach me the ways.
Oh yeah. So Pika, how it works on the website is very different how it works on the Discord, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So on the website, you don't really want to burn this too much, just because usually you're metered and stuff like that, and you want to just always try and see what it's doing, because 3 or 4 in, you'll probably get what you want. But let's just hit it. We're not going to do any words. Just let it animate. See how fast this goes. You'll see some other stuff that we're working on. Banana monkeys. And then it's going to start. Yeah, so it's still going to take its time. And then we'll also go to the Pika Discord, which is free and open. This, anybody can get onto the Pika Discord, and you can start using Pika before the 1.0 model. And I always sit in number 5. If anyone wants to find me, there's all these generate channels. And then you just basically go in, and same thing with Midjourney. You just do animate for when you're using an image, and then you drop your image in.
Nice, super easy, like Midjourney.
Yep. And you drop your image in.
Do you want to animate our new chick, our new Amy Adams monster?
Let's get Amy Adams in here.
Well, all right. What's her name, everybody? So we have Sarah was thrown around.
Sarah's good.
Michelle. No, sorry, she's talking about a community member.
Oh dear.
Sarah is only creepy when they spell it with an H.
Jeez.
No comment. Pretty harsh.
That's amazing with an H. Well, I mean, we're gonna just jump this in, and then you'll see it starts to generate. And with this one, this is an opinion. You want to hit this several times.
Oh, I like this one. This actually might be a winner. This is pretty funny. Sarah, Sera, very very next gen Sarah. I kind of like that.
Oh, Sarah, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Sarah.
Well, it's like Michael Sarah's last name. I mean, it's Cera.
Cerra.
So if there's a Sarah, if her name is Sarah, and if he would marry a Sarah, he'd be Sarah. It'd be so freaking
Sarah. Oh God.
Sarah. So we're gonna let these cook. This is how I do Pika. I just hit them in a row, just keep hitting them. And then let's go Bic. All right, so we do have Pika's website generation. We're going to look at that in 1 second. Now we're going to go to,
yeah, that was pretty fast. I think that was
the boogie daddy of all, Runway ML.
Yeah, I've been messing with Runway a little bit. I think, like you kind of mentioned, it's kind of like some features work really well, and others, are just not as up to snuff yet.
Yeah.
And so you kind of got to pick your poison, so to speak.
100%. It's a very powerful tool, and for managing a team, nothing better,
Oh,
honestly.
okay. Okay.
Because I have 3 other people on the same account with me that we
Mm,
got the grant for. So, we all generate in the same project file, and
mm,
there's a video editor. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite thing to use, but it is there. It does work. But there's a lot of small tools like background removal and stuff. We could go look into that after we just see what this does. So this
okay.
is another one that, just like Pika, I hit it as many times as possible. I'm in credits mode,
And
so
so, all right,
yeah.
so that's good for normies like me. So you say you hit it as many times. Is that to get different renderings, like different versions, or like
Yeah,
what's the?
each time that hit I hit that, it does a different seed for what it
Oh, okay,
generates. And so like anytime you do that, that's how it works. It's just basically
okay.
seed generation. And that's the thing. In this case, like for stable diffusion, that's this number right here. So if I were to repeat this seed
That's right.
and I were to change certain things, it would change the output
Mm,
of like what I want. So I would, just kind of put it here, and then I have the same thing up top.
mhm.
I'm going to take out, I'm going to say a cryptid nerd standing on the water. Let's see let's see what that does with that. That's crazy. It's insane. So let's go see what our videos have cooked up.
Okay.
This is stable
Ooh,
video, and this is fantastic. Um,
yeah.
this light movement is very, very good. This water movement is
Water is
exceptional.
great. Yeah.
This is exactly what I would use stable for.
Mm,
This is so good, and it retained a lot of the other image. This like light flow is really interesting.
mm,
That's a solid. That's a hit in my opinion, and that's
mhm.
first try. This is what I like about stable video is that very very quickly does it do what you want it to do. We're going to have it do a pan shot because it does those really well, and we're going to hit generate again.
Sorry, Chris. Nuclear
Why?
Cowboy is killing
Oh,
it. Oh
that's
wait, sorry. Hold on, hold on. It's oh, hold on. Wait, was this one? Oh, this one. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty interesting. We could
Good
generate
riff.
some.
Good riff
We could
on our
try
Michael
generating
Cera
some voice.
commentary.
I
Yeah.
think actually, yeah, because Runway does voice as well, so we could generate some Sarah, and we'll
I
see how
that's a
that
great
goes.
it's already a great title for this sequence is we just call this story Sarah, and no one knows
Mhm.
what that means until they watch the movie
Yeah,
unfold.
the whole thing unfold. Yeah, so sister video didn't exactly hit it properly. This is kind of
Mhm,
their issue. They're a one shot like type of
mhm.
thing. So in order to do this, I'd have to do the whole create video again. That was just got muddy.
Yeah.
It did not really want to do anything we wanted it to do. So we're gonna hit it again just to let it roll. But that was really just not that great. And you could always with them watch whatever it is. Usually it takes a while. It's very beta, very
Mm,
beta. But it does. There are some things. If this hits this right, it does it very well. It's just not the best tool for the job. Then Pika is probably going to be amazing. Let's see if we get this full screen here. Yeah,
mm,
Pika's amazing. Once
mhm.
again, look at this light fall off. The water is
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
This like
Oh, yeah, a
light
little
up
glow,
here.
little
You got
moon
some
glow.
background movement. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Pika is a solid video generator as far as their site. And once again,
Mm,
kind of a one shot. And this is why it's interesting. Stable video in them. I feel compete more,
huh.
but they're very close. That's a solid shot. Um,
And question, and because I'm thinking it, so I'm thinking maybe the audience is thinking it. Which, by the way, anyone listening, if you have questions, feel free to spit them out. We'll try
oh,
to
please
pull them
do.
up. And now I forgot my effing question because I just wanted the audience to feel empowered to ask questions. Shit.
We want you to feel
It'll come
empowered.
back to me.
Yeah.
Um, I lost my power by trying to empower others. Fuck.
So here's what Pika previous did with our Amy Adams,
Mm,
Sarah. Not bad,
okay. And so
solid.
wait. Oh, I see. Okay.
And then
Sorry if I'm squinting. I have to move in on my screen.
oh, sorry. Here, we'll full
There. No,
screen
no,
it.
it's all good. It's because I have the screen tiny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Wow. Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
that's pretty
that's super
solid.
intense. Pretty intense.
Oh, we got blinks? Oh, okay. Not
Ooh.
entirely. That is a
Yeah.
pretty good blink.
Yeah. It's a very
Oh,
interesting.
wow.
Yeah. This is like a
I'll
whole
tell you,
one.
that's a real rarity. That's
Yeah.
very rare. Yeah.
This
Any of
is
my AI
interesting.
crew in the audience, if you could tell if you could tell educated guests we got a blink out of Pika, I'm saving that.
I'm digging this.
That's rare. That's very rare.
And something we want to do for everyone listening is this ongoing, if we want to stick with it, Sarah ghostly apparition horror story. As these videos are created and anyone's the community submits, our goal is to start putting it together and kind of see what we can, create in a little tease or a fun little thing as the WrAIth series continues. So again, this is all kind of like organic creation from scratch, just for fun. But feel free to share anything you guys are working on if it fits within this narrative that is completely made up and we're just going with the punches. So
Oh yeah, it's bonkers, bro. It's bonkers. And we can go
it's fun.
deeper into this. there's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of ways
I
to
like
skin
the
it.
I like this character. I mean, like, because I don't. Again, this kind of came to like kind of out of nowhere. So, but I feel like that's really fun, right? Is this kind of
Of course.
let's roll with it? Like, where can this go?
Mhm.
Um,
So that's Pika how that did with it. Let's see how
so
the granddaddy of all did with our other image. Pretty good.
ooh,
Pretty good.
interesting.
Yeah.
And
Face
we
doesn't
get
keep
oh
attention, but
wow,
there's a lot of good water
yeah,
movement. That fabric retains the whole time. That's really,
uh-huh.
really interesting. Let's see. We burnt it again. Different
Oh,
take.
that's interesting. Okay, I like it. Keeps the darkness. I like that.
Yeah, I like this little snow situation they got going. It'd be one of those things like that sneaks you in, gets you close,
Mm.
and then eats you. Like that'd be something like this thing would do, just
Yeah.
because, like, it's so powerful.
Oh yeah, look. Oh, you got a little hand raise there.
Yeah, we got
A
some
little
movement.
come closer, little boy, or whatever.
Yes, Sarah. Oh, I like the way this flow is. This flow on the
Yeah,
bottom. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. That is
so interesting.
gorgeous. Very,
Now,
very.
so I'm gonna ask a question. Maybe
Mhm.
it's a dumb question. There's no dumb question here, but
No, there isn't.
if all right, so let's say we're like, ooh, Sarah, video prompt number 5. I want to expand it. I want to see where we can take it next. Is there a way to utilize that founding video, that initial seed, and then expand upon that with, you know, let's take Sarah on an adventure? Or is it just like that's hard to do at this point with the programs?
It's very hard to do for at certain levels.
Hmm.
This tool right here, Stable Diffusion, has a possibility of doing it. This is our cryptid nerd that's in here. This tool is able to do that through things like control nets here. And what this does is this is a really like high level type of shit. And you do things like IP adapters, and you train, not even train on faces. It takes the physical face and then moves it to another model and knows how it does it because it's trained on faces.
Mm-hmm.
So it recognizes faces. It's very powerful shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it also takes depth information. There's a lot of ways to do that. And that's the more complicated. The ways with Midjourney is with things like seed and prompts. Theirs is very much based on prompt structure. You have to keep very exact prompt structure in seed, and you're very limited because there's not really a whole lot that you could do in
Mm-hmm.
their generator to like really retain characters. You're going to be doing a lot of post work. You can control it to a degree. It's just not as easy.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we're still early, as they
Oh
say.
yeah, yeah. There's also, I mean, there's tools like, I mean, let's see if scenario will even scenario.gg. Wait, hold on. Scenario AI.
I'm going to screenshot Jeremy's take. I really thought that was interesting. Lady of the Lake, if King Arthur's tale was told as a horror. I think that's kind of fun.
That's pretty fun. Oh yeah, that is that. Okay. Yeah. So Scenario does some really interesting things with all sorts of different AI. Yeah. Train
Mm.
models, assets in the bro. So you can kind of train your own and do a lot of really
Mhm.
cool stuff with it. And then once you have your own trained model, it starts to get really interesting. It's also capable in Stable Diffusion. There's actually a train tab right here where if you have a
Perfect.
number of images, you can make your own. But so it's relatively difficult. But it's
Mm.
not impossible.
Can you drop that link in the private chat, the one you just did, and I'll post it in the comments for people?
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody.
Okay, so now,
Scenario. Mm.
okay, so this was another hit didn't exactly go very well, you know. So that's what I mean. Like the first one went fantastic. Second
Mm.
one, not exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of falls apart. Now let's see assistive, better,
Oh, interesting. Oh, we got
and
a
then
little
turns
floating
into
action.
it's. I mean, it's an apparition. So if this thing is exiting,
Yeah.
that'd be a good exit situation. We'll
Uh-huh.
keep that one. Let's see how it goes. Pika nailed it once again, out the park.
Mhm.
You know, solid generation. Let's do some more of that. And you know, and runway is still what runway does. I mean, you know, so what we could also do with this is try
Mm.
and see if we can use some of the motion tools and do some controls here. What's interesting about runway is their controls for camera, and they're very touchy.
Mm.
Depending on the video, it's very touchy. So
So
this
are you
gives,
saying you can pan and you can kind of, do a zoom in or,
yeah,
whatever
oh
camera
yeah.
motion?
So
Okay.
we're gonna try and do a jib up
Mm.
because that's a complicated move. Let's see what it does with it.
Yeah, yeah, that'd
So
be pretty
that's
pretty
a
pretty
tilt
cool.
down. I'm gonna do a tilt down at 3, and I'm gonna do a vertical at
Mm.
3.5. Because with your jib, you really want to you really
Mm.
it's one thing you got to control as it goes up, and these supposedly are trained on certain types of motion lures and stuff that are supposed to mimic camera movement, so you always want to
Mhm.
be thinking about your camera movement when you're using these. Let's see how it goes. We're going to burn this a couple of times since we're on credits mode. Let's just burn, just burn, just burn, just burn, 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 burn. Okay,
I love it.
let's
And
see.
so just to clarify, just from like, so when we're burning, we're getting a different seed for each time you hit generate, more or less. And is
Mhm.
that seed based on the model like having a different interpretation of the same prompt each time? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So what seeds are is this is all about diffusion noise information.
Hmm.
If you played Civilization, you understand seeds pretty well. It's a video game that generates a world for you to like to go through history on, and what it's doing is it's basically using noise to determine where certain things are, certain pixels, and it generates it randomly. Certain artists have certain seeds that they use. I know certain artists that have a very specific number that they use for absolutely everything, and they only change it for very few reasons. And then seeds is just the way that your specific image has. And you can change the prompt entirely and do some really crazy stuff with seed, just because that's just how it's fixed. But yeah, so every time it generates, so this one generated 129, blah blah blah. This one generated 295,146, and you can just make them up if you want to. It's up to you. And certain one, there's no golden seed. I've heard of people try and do that. That didn't exactly pan out. But I've heard people try and say that there is one. I don't think there is. I don't think it exists. But anyway, let's see what it did. Oof, muddy.
Oh, interesting, but yeah.
But it's trying. You can see it's trying to pull up
Yeah,
and
it's
down at the
trying.
same
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But I guess it doesn't really know the focal point, right? It's kind of
Oh no, no, not at all. That's the whole thing. It's like what you're doing is the generation noise is what's determining how much consistency you have in your
mm,
video. And certain seeds they hit right. Sometimes it's about speed too, which I'm gonna play with these speed settings really quick and see if maybe we can get something a little better, because these are all like they get muddy immediately. They just
Yeah.
turn into garbage immediately. So let's tone some stuff down. Let's go down to 1 on this, and let's go down to 0.5 on this and see if that improves. But you see what I mean? Like when we started without any motion, we were really able to get a good image, a good video very quickly. When you start introducing things, and this is the pro tool, this is $95 a month per user to utilize this on a month to month. It's decreased if you pay it ahead of time. And this is the like one of the best tools in the market, and you can see that it's not perfect. But you can also see how tools like this, even though this is not that great, that first generation was so good. And we can hit this again. This tried to do a pan. It didn't really do it very well. Let's see if we can do a zoom in and generate again. But that first one was so good and so solid. And that, that tends to happen. That tends to be the thing. And then, it's so sad. Sometimes this generator is so good. Like there's actually, so this might be a good reason to try this. Actually, let's see. Did we have anything that generated out of our Sarah files that could be useful? Hold on. Where am I going? I'm going to the block of horror. Discord. Bam. I don't know. Let's see. Kind of liking this image a little bit. Let's see that upscale. Let's see if it'll do it for me. But yeah, I mean, and then each of these tools is, like we were showing, it's really not about using just one of them. It's also not about just trying to maintain one single like image at a time. One of the things, you know what? I should load it up and I will get it on here in a second. Hold on. Something I probably should have had set up just because it is the awesome sauce. But this is the thing about AI video. It's not. This is why I also say people like Tyler Perry do these overblown publicity stunts where they stop construction on $800 million of studio space to say that AI is going to come and destroy it all. It's one of those things that it's a little overblown. We're at a stage where even some of the best stuff available, you really need really good video. I mean, really good images to put into it. And then even with that, you're not going to get, like entertainment style, like quality. Maybe once in a while you do. It's not something that you can truly depend on. And it's not something that I'd say is worthwhile to say, like, I'm going to quit being, I'm going to quit being a filmmaker in order to.
Well, what it reminds me of then is kind of like the idea of, VR glasses and then the metaverse and these things that like, yeah, the tech's there, it's happening, it's coming, but it's like, we're not all hanging out in the metaverse right now, right? Like we're still on legacy social media, so it's kind of like this, like it's probably coming at some point where we put on our glasses and we're all chilling in a metaverse and doing the same things we're doing, but we can see each other in full skins and jumping around or whatever. But like, that's just not yet. But the assumption is like, because I know it's coming, Facebook's like changing their name to Meta and like spending $10 billion to try to front run the market. And it's like, yeah, but maybe people aren't ready yet. Maybe it still needs 10, 20 years.
Yeah. I mean,
get to a point where it's, not building studio space or something,
Well, that's the other part of it is that why not put towards that technology? Why not make that stronger? Why not make that part of your process and then charge people to use it? Like it just seems so counterintuitive. If you think it's that bad, invest into it. Become a node for OpenAI. I'm sure they would love the server space. That's what I mean. There's always a way to use $800 million worth of studio space. It just seems crazy. Yeah. And then, and then even with like some of the best tools available, like even it's still not as good. But one thing I will say, and I found out recently, is so Dune 2 just came out,
Mhm.
and one of the things that their VFX crew did is they used machine learning AI technology to put all the blue eyes on all of the human characters.
Mm.
And it was a post on LinkedIn, and I was like, this is great. This is amazing because they did it to save them time because all that had to happen was they piped it into their VFX
Mhm.
software. Anytime it saw a human face, it'd make those eyes glow blue, and it
Mhm.
was very efficient because they had tons of training data. So it's one of those things that like it's very powerful stuff. So I have completely lost track of like anything we should be prompting from the community. I've been trying to get this lady in the lake, and I feel like we should do something a little different like this. So what was like? Do you have the comments open so we could like try and pull something different? I remember there was a thing about a nerd and like I don't know, a psychotic nerd or something.
Let's see. Sarah wandered the lands alone, starving and dehydrated, leaning against a rock in the blocklands. A cracked a bitter water spill forth, and Sarah drinketh the bitter waters. Interesting.
Um,
Um, well, we can also ask the community.
yeah.
What are you thinking? Like, what kind of what are you feeling?
Well, I mean, this is something we deal with the team. Like when we try and build a story, we always try and build the visuals first and
Mm.
see where it takes us. And so we really like this Lady of the Lake type situation. So like, we could do a couple of different things.
Well, I like the I don't know about you. I kind of like that what Jeremy said, like kind of like horror set in King Arthur's court type angle, where you have this
Interesting.
classical, I guess, Middle Ages feel, and you know what happens from there, because that gives us at least like a specific time period to kind of maybe lean into that makes an interesting horror
Hmm.
angle with our
I like it.
apparition.
I like it. Hold on a second. Let me see what we
Yeah,
got.
because you have that, yeah, that Lady of the Lake, but it's set in a different time period feel,
Mhm.
which again is very interesting. I think that there should be more horror like that, where it's like, let's take a very famous time period or event and like throw a fucked up ghost in it and see what
Dude,
happens.
I have I think it's a like 18-page concept screenplay
Mm.
about how Roanoke, Virginia got cleared out. And it's based with a demonic priest that's like with them, like are hanging around, and then all this shit happens. And my whole point
Mm.
was I wanted to like scare people with there's an ending that I have with it that I still haven't seen in a horror film yet. So I'm waiting because everyone has the same idea at the same time. So if I
Mm.
see it, I'm gonna be like, I knew it. Somebody was gonna fucking do this. But it's got an ending. Even being in Roanoke, Virginia during that period might scare the shit
Yeah,
out of people. But that's that period horror. It does so well. It's
yeah.
like The Village. It made you think about period horror, even though there's a bit of a twist to like kind of take you out of that
Mhm.
situation. But that's what I mean. Like that period horror stuff. It's so good. So yeah, King Arthur. I dig it. I dig it. Hmm. Cryptid nerd standing in the water. Yeah, so let's see what we can do with this image. Set as initial. Actually, let's see if we can do this one. Set as initial.
Is there a world? And again, anyone listening, feel free to, any kind of inspiration if you want to create something yourself and Midjourney in the Discord.
Mhm.
Feel free to share it. If we see it, we like it, we're gonna pull it up and say, hey, this is pretty cool. Let's see what
Oh
we can do
yeah,
with it.
100%.
Whether
I would love
yeah,
to burn as many video credits as possible with whatever the community wants to see these video things do. Whatever you guys got that we like, I'll tell you how it's going to work.
is there so we have like a single character. Since we're going with this like King Arthur's angle, is there a prompt or an angle that we consider with like a meeting between the two? Like King Arthur stumbles upon ghostly apparition at the lake. I don't know. Is it worth introducing a second character to see what we can extrapolate from it?
Well, I just read your mind because it's exactly what I just prompted. What I
Beautiful.
did was I took the same image, one of the images I liked, and there's a way that to do image to image and try and like get something out of it. So
Mm.
what I need to do is let's see how we could drop this image strength and see what we can do. We're also going to try out the seed too, because that's one of those things. We're also going to No, it's this one. I know it's that one. And so let's drop this down pretty low. Let's see what happens if it's going to play nicely. Let's see. While we're waiting for that, we had some stuff going on in Runway. So let's see if it's gotten any better. Don't see.
Okay.
I thought we did. I slowed some stuff down. I think this is.
It just doesn't know how to tilt. It doesn't know how to.
No. Hold on. Did I perhaps not hit generate, which is always possible? There we go. Let's see. We'll let that cook. Pika we'll just leave alone. Assist to video is assist to video. And then once again, like this is stable again, is doing something really well. You know, this keeps so many things still, but the water is literally perfect.
Wow.
It is video quality water. That is really interesting. We're going to be downloading that. We could always improve the face. There's a lot of things we could do. Now let's see what we're cooking as far as King Arthur. So we're getting some interesting power vibes here. But let's go back to the original. And let's take this seed number. Copy. Change this. And let's take the image out. Go to advanced. Seed. We're going to tell it what we want the seed to be. Then we're going to do that. Yeah.
Someone said, I don't know if you saw this episode. Aaron and Pat did an off the block episode, and they came up with Jerome the weed gnome. Apparently, it's like I didn't get a chance to watch the full episode, so someone will have to explain to me exactly what happened. But I read some of the commentary, and it was pretty funny. So
we could always prompt it and see what happens. Yeah. Gnomes is a little difficult, I will say.
And speaking of difficulties, is there with image generation from your experience, and then obviously playing into video, one issue I know I've run across is anything with words. Is there a way to prompt to keep words that are already part of an image? Though obviously you could, strip them out if it's a Photoshop image and then put them back in with the new image. But if you had an image that already had words in it that you wanted to keep, is there, because it seems like it gets distorted anytime I've used an image that has words I want to keep, like one of our block of horror posters that has the title, if we want to try something new but keep it already, it'll just distort any words on the page. I should know, have you played with that at all?
I mean, as far as image to image retention of text, that's a difficult one. There are things like ideogram that is very good at text. So if you wanted to try something with like, ideogram, it's also a free site. Okay. Should be one of the first things that comes up. Yep, ideogram. Ideogram is like kind of one of the better text. Well, it's not even text generation. It just does. You can see text really well. So you would put like a block of horror in giant blood text. We'll keep it square. We'll use the 1.0. We want to focus on typography. We'll do some quotations. Let's see. Do you want it on anything specifically?
No. I was just curious.
Sure. See what happens. But Ideogram is one of those services that does that. There's a new thing called Stable Cascade that also is about doing this the same way as like having really good text generation and being able to do some
pretty cool
things. Yeah. Like this is what I mean. Like Ideogram, people get addicted to Ideogram because look at that middle one. Look at this one right here. This is insane. That's
pretty dope. That's
and
great.
And the spacing is right. The moon looks fucked up, but you could always clean that. That's not. You can buff that out, But then look at this. Like, what the hell is that? It does it so well.
Yeah.
And then it's even cool. And sometimes, let's see. I like this one. We're gonna save this one. and we're going to try and generate a video for it. And then
Mm.
you guys could use that. Save image as, what is it to? PNG. Very good. I'm going to save PNG. We're going to go into runway. Let's see. Finally. That's pretty good. That's probably the best I've seen. Okay. All right, we're going to download that one too, just to have it for the collection here. But I'm also going to heart that because that's finally, like, I think we're there. Not bad. Not bad.
Ooh,
It
subtle
does
and
all this
sweet.
water in the back and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What we also need is, like, we might need to generate some music. Oh man, I like this
Well,
water in the foreground.
the music we should save for another WrAIth episode. Dun dun
Ah,
dun.
yeah, I know. So sad to not have music for this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I would be generating on Suno right now. Oh man, I tell you.
Yeah. Next episode. Wink
I
wink.
can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait because that's going to be where it's going to be key to really lock in what's going on here. Because once you do that, and, like, like that one that we like, one of the powerful things about Runway, and this is what I saved for finding one that we liked, and we really didn't like many of these, is you could also extend up to 16 seconds for each clip.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
so you have to use one that's good, because if you use one that sucks, it
I see.
continues to suck.
I
Now,
see.
I can probably, we'll see if we have time, show you guys a way that it really does help in certain ways, because there are ways that you can use that for powers of good, I'll say. I used it in one of the contests I entered, as a transition sequence, because
Mm,
as it screwed itself up, it looked really cool.
mm.
So we went with it. So yeah, so we downloaded that, and then we're doing that with that. Let's see. Let's go to Pika, which has the best damn thing we've seen all night, and let's do another image. Oh, wait, image or video. We're gonna go to documents, block of horror, to the bleeding letters. And we're also going to do that in Pika on the Discord, just because. And this is actually what a workflow that I do all the time.
Mm,
It's literally just jumping from tool to tool to tool
mm,
and utilizing it. Like, I'm trying to utilize Runway a lot more now,
mm.
but it's one of those things that I still, from time to time, just have to go into these other generators and just be like, I just need one shot. I just need one shot. And
Mm.
I know this does this well. And so we're going to see what it does with this bleeding text. I don't think we'll get flagged, but let's be saucy. And if anything, this could be like the opening, the opening
Yeah.
flash to this
Mhm.
short could be this bleeding text. Um, okay, so where are we at? We tried. It's just happy delightful. Let's see what it does. And let's put it in a interesting aspect ratio. 1344. 768. See what it does for that. Yeah, why not? Oh, random. Random. Also, while we're at it, why not try that block of horror on everything? See what it does. You know what?
Mm.
We'll leave the zoom in, because why not? Generate that. Let's see what happens. Assistive video. Let's try again. You never know. Okay. So let's see. Not terrible.
Yeah.
Not
With
terrible.
some
Now,
music.
yeah. Now, Pika, you're also able to do an extension of 4 seconds. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but we're gonna try it anyway. Just let it run, and if it's even doing it, add for. Ooh, we might have upset Pika. We'll see. We'll go back to runway and see what's going on. These are the 8s. Oh yeah, these are the 8s. Okay. Let's see how it did with 8. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not terrible. It's holding. These are not bad, And that's what I mean. If you went with a really terrible one, when it starts messing up, it just keeps going. And this is why it is difficult to make anything narrative with this, because you're always generating as many 4-second clips as possible. And if you're lucky, you get a couple of 8s, and then you can kind of put stuff together. There's no lip sync here yet. So you'd still have to either use Pika Pro or there's other methods of doing it, but it's possible. But 8 seconds.
So I'm going to kind of ask the question again that I did earlier, but try to make sense of it better. Sure. If we wanted to take this video of this girl, is there a way for us to go, oh, now do a close up of her face and we can find a way to keep most of the image or the person? Or even the frame, even if it's slightly,
of this character in particular, right?
Yeah. Like if we wanted to keep her and go, okay, now we want to move into a close-up of her. How could we even try to construct keeping the consistency of the character?
So we're going to go into, well, actually, that's a much easier way to show this. We're going to do it that way. So let's see if this does this easier. So we're going to do set as initial image. We're going to put the image strength up. Oh yeah, we already have the seed. Right, correct. So yes, okay, that's what I was going to show. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the seed we needed. And what I was, yes, this is where I was going to go. Okay. Standing, blowing the rest notifications. Let's do close up. The clip, and let's see what it gives us. Oh, I almost want to do that court. That would have been cool. Let's see. It's trying.
It's trying. Yeah.
Definitely trying. So now the initial image to remember is this. So this is the initial image. It really doesn't have a lot of definition. Doesn't tell us a lot about that character, but try and see this composition right here. And, in video, you'll see her moving type of thing. And then you could easily pass off this image as being the close-up.
That's pretty creepy. Yeah.
You could easily pass it off as that. And I think it would work. And then what you do is you just keep trying that stuff. So, we just did a close-up, and let's do standing. And the King's Court.
Me too, Karen. Me too.
Just making sure it doesn't say anything specifically about being in the forest. So it doesn't seem to. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to try that. Oh, let me spell court right, or Karen will have my head. If I spell court incorrectly, the proofreader is going to destroy my soul. What's good is, what I like about some of these images is there's also some play of the genre, and there's also some interesting things that could happen. But even if we take this image, and then we're going to download it,
that's a great looking character, just from a vibe.
And I think. And, this is something you kind of, I don't know if you got to be a real nerd to do this, but when you're generating images to try and run through video, you got to think about things that you've seen before, because a lot of what's trained is stuff that's previously existed. And so it's one of those things, if you've seen an angle before, most likely you will find it again in the image generator. And like this angle, this close up, it's kind of a mid shot. It works really well for that. It kind of has a good look to it. We could always try and do refinements and stuff and really try and play hard on it. So this is like she's in some sort of place that's not the forest. Not bad. And it's a close up. Yeah, this is definitely inside of a castle. So yeah, you can do certain things with it. And then, even so, like these could easily be the same character with very minimal work. This is a little more involved. This is a pretty sweet character as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna take her as well, just in case. You never know. Take her to us. Come on by. Upscale. Oh dear. There we go. Save. Now let's go back to some video generators. Let's throw these in and let's see how they handle all these different things. So let's shut this down. Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. I like how it kept the letters. It's really weird.
Huh.
And let's see, assisted video. Okay, yeah.
I lost a few letters, but hey.
It yields to the name. It's very, very positive to that. That didn't extend. And now we didn't do it in this because we were too enthralled with our beautiful image of this young lady. So let's drop this here, just to drop it, just to throw it here, and then we're gonna put our lady in the other ones, and let's see what it does with that. This time we're gonna use a prompt. Bleeding letters. Let's see if we get flagged. Or bleeding. Anyway. Okay, so let's take this out. Let's see how this lady works out. We're going to go with creepy lady number 1. Creepy lady number 1 loaded. So yeah, it's going to probably crop. We're going to take out the zoom. Let's see what she does naturally. And let's let that process. Now, mind you, last time we used Stable Diffusion, like first try, it hit it solid. So that's why, and of course, it's always good to see what other people are generating because that's always fun. You get to check stuff out, what people are doing with this tool, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. It all just depends. Like these flyover shots, it's amazing.
Oh, I love that! Wow.
Yeah, these are great. And this is something else that they do really well is natural shots. Oh wow, that train! Stable. How you tease me?
Stable.
But you know what I mean? Like,
give it to me. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Many of those are so good. You see, just giving it anything, it almost could ruin it so quickly.
Yeah.
And so let's throw it to assistive because let's see. Let's give him crazy lady number 2. Let's do that. And then go to Pika, and of course they're gonna be doing fine with this. Oh, that's what they wanted me to do. I'm a douche. Hold on. We're gonna go creepy lady number 1 because I have a feeling Pika's gonna knock this out the park. How many we got left? What do we got? We still got credits. Let's do it again. Here we go. Retry. Okay, so that's, and did we, let's see. Interesting. Did literally nothing. Some bleeding letters.
Okay,
yes. Oh, let's see. Okay, well, that bleeding letters one's that's solid. Slow that sucker down. Oh, baby. Now you got a stew going. I like it. Let's see what else. Yeah, another weird. Okay. And that's this is the other factor about it is curation is so much harder with video because you got to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
and 4 seconds is 4 seconds.
Yeah. That's a
Just
good
in the
point.
time we've done this, we've reviewed minutes of video,
Mhm.
and
It's
just in
like
sitting.
you're a full-time editor, You're
Yeah, well, and that's
on
you
a
see,
timeline.
so this is where the other end of the spectrum comes from being on set, because now your takes are happening in the editing room. So you don't necessarily have, if you don't have a performance, you go back, you just try it again, and you do something a little different. You try something a little this, you try something a little that. Stable didn't exactly do what I wanted it to do with that, but it's okay. It's still not terrible. I'm not going to give that a thumbs up. That's for sure. Visual distortions, lack of movement was terrible. It's terrible.
Oof,
We're
yeah.
gonna give them a chance again. Let them try again. It didn't even want to do it. It's okay. It's just a video. In fact, do what you do. Do what you do. Oh, we got some mouth movement. That's cool.
Ooh, little VO
Yeah,
next. Little music
yeah,
VO next episode sounds like what we need, Chris.
we could do that. We could definitely do
Oh
that.
my gosh. What is she
This
saying?
does allow you to lip sync, so it is really powerful for that. Let's see what that is even nice too. With the hair
Ooh.
movement.
I gotta move my screen up so I can get a really good look. All right. Ooh, yeah.
That's
Give me
pretty
the hair
solid.
flip, girl, with the little wind.
That's very
Oh,
nice. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And you just hear whispering. You don't even know what she's saying. She's just whispering to you. Oh my God. This makes me so much want to go into Suno right now. Oh my God. I'm resisting. I'm fighting. So let's even see what our wonderful runway does with this, because this is a really, so far so good. I mean, Pika's nailed it pretty much. Beyonce. Okay. Generate.
That's funny.
I don't even read that till right now. Okay, so.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. It's okay. So let's.
I love our, but this, and for the audience's sake too. Obviously, Chris is a mastermind at this. You know, I love this kind of exploration because we're creating in real time. We didn't know we were going to come up with anything we have right now. Like it's literally just completely organic, collectively figuring out what works, what actually looks good, and just keep kind of like building off it, pivoting, trying new things, exploring. And, to me, that's kind of the crux of art in itself, is that true exploration and just letting it kind of exude out of ourselves and our spirits. So I dig it. It's really, really fun seeing all this come to life.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. When you start working with prompts, that's where you start understanding how to talk to the machine, and that's where you get to the heart of where you get to understand what your images could be and what they could look like. And prompts and seeds, and you start playing in these realms, and that's what we had for the longest time. Now there's Face ID. There's so many different ways of making faces like very similar. This is another thing in that universe. We can have this be King Arthur's court, and there's definitely some interesting shit going on here. And see, like what I kept of the prompt was the by writer, spiritus, aspired by demonic horde, cosmic entity, where if we go back to that prompt, there's only so much I can actually try and do. Interesting. Well, that might work too. Interesting. All right, so we're gonna do something interesting here. Hold on. Female figure, max address. Yeah. So we're gonna do this. Control C. Use this, and then we're gonna go this way. Control V. Let's see how that does. Now, the thing I use the same term, cryptid nerd, and then I try to use modifiers that are same, if not equal. And some AI artists have only like one or two prompts that they use forever.
Oh,
And
really?
it's one of
Oh,
those
okay.
things where they just make very, especially if you see somebody that has a style that's really dialed in,
Mm.
most likely they only use a couple of different prompts. It's really not that, not that complicated. Um,
So
there,
you're saying, to clarify, so you're saying basically you're using almost like your descriptors are to create a certain type of style from the program, and then you're just changing the fundamentals of what the image is, in
yeah.
essence. Yeah.
And what you do with prompt engineering, so like what I'm struggling with right now is like we were able to make this court. I had to change a significant amount of the prompt. But for whatever reason, in this prompt, all these different things together always puts things in the forest,
Mm,
despite that the prompt does not say so. But if we look at every single time we've tried to do this, it puts them in the forest.
mm,
So what you do is you just kind of like work with these prompts until you find those particulars that make it happen. So the things I took out definitely change everything, but keep some things. So it's always a matter of like what you play with. Like I think some of these would be kind of cool, and I would definitely use like this one. I'd actually use just because it's pretty
that's
weird,
pretty sick. Yeah.
you know. But that's the whole thing about, and then seeds, it just gets you the same composition over
Mm,
again, where it's very powerful to be able to do the same image, repeat it, and then do it in different styles. And there's a lot of ways you could change it, but it's all about like really finding that style that you like. And if like this is a direction we can go in, this is a great direction because there's so many different like ways of doing classic style like this.
mm. I love it. Well, it looks like we've been on for about an hour and a half here, Chris. Um, any kind of final things you think we should touch on before we pack it in and set ourselves up for WrAIth number 4 next month?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to hear more about stuff like this, you can always find me on Twitter at the Hackett Man. I do a space every Thursday. We're going to be doing it on AI production, so I'll be talking about this space. I do that with entertainment and Nax, which is two groups in Web3 that are all about trying to push the AI tools forward. Entertainment is who gave us the grant to use Runway. So this evening is, basically everything we've done with this is brought to you by entertainment .io, I believe. But if you look for entertainment anywhere, not meant, you're going to find them. And also, you'll be seeing them on my Twitter all the time because it's one of those things. Oh, ooh,
Oh, what is going on here?
that is. Oh, I didn't change the prompt, but I changed the image. Look what that did.
That's
That's
interesting.
crazy. Oh, we're saving that. Sorry. So yeah, I do see. This is what's so exciting about. Sometimes you do this and happy accidents do
Mhm.
amazing things.
Love it. Bob
So
Ross,
yeah,
baby.
we talk about things like AI and AI production, where to mint, things about Web3, and yeah, just try and use as many of the tools as possible. Like everything aside from Assistive and Runway, and even Runway to a degree, is free. You can use a
Mm,
lot of it in order to like get whatever image you want.
mm.
So use the tools, enjoy it, make whatever stories you want, and then tell us whatever story you'd like us to chase down because I'd love to like make something into this and give something back to the community.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, and this has been great. I feel like I learned so much, with you, and I'm sure the audience does too. And again, feel free for anybody to drop any videos you want to create based on this King Arthur's haunted court, kind of mystical realm, Sarah, whispering apparition feel. Any imagery, any prompting, any video, feel free to drop on the live stream on Twitter is probably easiest, or in the Discord, because we want to start pulling some of this together, seeing what we can build out with it. And then on the next episode, we'll push this even further, and kind of set us up for what kind of story can we turn this into, maybe. And so, with that, make sure you go in Block 4's Discord if you want some blood coin, 500 blood coin. We need a special password, and I think it's obvious what it should be, Chris. I think it should be Sarah, but you must spell it correctly, which means, were you here in the beginning? Should we tell them? For anyone
I
that's
don't
like,
know. I don't know. I think the beginning is hilarious when we go over it. It's pretty funny.
yeah.
Ah, I like the
That's
mystery.
All right, it's block of horror. It's not block of cookies. So, do you know how to spell the appropriate Sarah that we're talking about? Yeah, that's how you'll get some extra blood coin. And we'll hit this back up next time. And with that, Chris, any final words? I give it to you, and then we'll kick it to our little say goodbye.
Well, I just wanted to give this gnome to everyone just because I love gnomes and I want everyone to, just enjoy your week. Try tools out, just especially to free your creativity, make that whatever it is that drives you. There's all these tools we showed where there's text, there's this, whatever you do, you market, you make films, you make short stories, go for it. Just be creative as possible. And much love to everyone. And thank you to everyone who came. Thank you for everyone listening to me bullshit for like an hour and a half. So much love to everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and participating. Remember to follow us on X, subscribe on YouTube, and join our Discord headquarters, where we have a community waiting to connect, create, and collaborate. Our 3 C's with no fees.